Could you survive 24 hours alone in the Amazon rainforest? Take a breath and notice how easy that just was. Now imagine air so thick and wet that every breath feels like inhaling through a warm, soaked towel. You are standing under the largest rainforest on Earth, and it has already begun trying to kill you, but not with the monster you are picturing. The jaguar, the giant snake, the things with teeth. Those are not what should truly scare you here, because the Amazon does not kill you with one great attack. It kills you with 1,000 small things. And before this day is over, you will learn the single rule that once saved a 17-year-old girl who fell out of the sky. First, look around you and understand exactly where you are. Green in every direction, rising higher than a 12-story building, closing over your head like a living ceiling. This one forest covers more than 2 million square miles of the planet. It sprawls across 9 countries and blankets close to half of an entire continent. 1 in every 10 known species on Earth lives right here in the green around you. And almost every single one of them is better at surviving this place than you are. It is mid-morning when you begin to understand the real problem. The problem is not that there is nothing out here. It is that there is far too much. Too much heat, too much water, too much life, all of it pressing in on you at once. By the 4th hour, the heat has wrapped around you, and your shirt is soaked completely through. You are losing water through your skin faster than you ever have in your life. And that begins the strangest and most dangerous joke this jungle will play on you. You are surrounded by water. You can hear a river. You can feel it hanging in the air. Rain falls. Puddles shine, the whole world drips around you, and you must not drink a drop of it. Because that warm, still, standing water is alive with parasites and invisible disease. Drink it, the way your body is screaming at you to, and you invite a sickness that empties you from the inside. Picture the worst stomach illness of your life, with no bathroom, no bed, and no help coming. In this heat that does not merely weaken you, it can kill you inside a single day. So here is the first cruel trick of the jungle. Thirst. You are drowning in water you cannot trust, while dehydration quietly reaches for you. And yet, thirst is not even close to the thing that kills most people out here. It is past midday now, so you decide to move, to search for clean water and higher ground. And this is where the rainforest plays its greatest trick of all on you. The whole time, you have been watching the shadows for the jaguar. And the jaguar is real. It has the strongest bite, for its size, of any big cat on Earth. It can crush a skull or the armored shell of a turtle in one clean bite. But here is the truth that the movies never tell you. The jaguar does not want you. Attacks on humans are extraordinarily rare. It will see you and smell you and melt away into the green long before you know it was ever there. The same is true of the giant that haunts your imagination, the green anaconda. It is the heaviest snake on the entire planet, reaching up to 227 kilograms. That is the weight of a full-grown grizzly bear poured into a single sliding coil of muscle. And it, too, will almost always choose to slip away rather than face you. So you lower your eyes from the branches, and you let yourself begin to relax. That is your mistake. Because the things that will truly hurt you out here are tiny, and they are absolutely everywhere. On the ground, a marching column of ants you barely glance at. In the air, a whine so small and thin, you almost do not notice it. That tiny whine is the single deadliest animal in the entire Amazon. Not the jaguar, and not the snake, the mosquito. It carries malaria, dengue, and yellow fever, and it has killed more people than every predator here combined. You slap at it, and 3 more settle onto the back of your neck. But it is that column of ants on the ground that is about to teach you what real pain is. Meet the bullet ant. It is barely an inch long, and it delivers the most painful sting ever measured by science. Researchers rank every insect sting on a scale of pain, and the bullet ant sits alone at the very top. A single sting, in their own words, feels like being shot, which is exactly how it earned its name. And the agony does not fade in minutes. It burns in rolling waves for up to 24 hours. In parts of South America, they simply call it the 24-hour ant. The very same 24 hours you are trying to survive, spent in pure fire from one sting. Now imagine trying to walk and think and find water through pain like that. But the ant, at least, is something you can see and something you can try to avoid. The real enemy is the one you never notice at all, the small, silent cut. Somewhere in the last few hours, a thorn or a broken branch opened the skin on your arm. You did not even feel it. Back home, it is nothing. A plaster over it, and you forget it by lunch. Out here, that little cut is an open door. The air itself is warm and wet and thick with bacteria, the perfect nursery for infection. Within hours, the wound turns hot and swollen and angry red at its edges. And in this jungle, flies find an open wound within minutes of it appearing. They lay their eggs inside it, and those eggs hatch into maggots, feeding beneath your skin. This is not some rare horror story. It is one of the most common ways the jungle breaks a human being. A tiny wound that you ignored becomes the infection that finally ends you. It is late afternoon now, and you finally understand what truly rules this place. Not fangs and not coils. Rot, fever, and the slow theft of your strength. And then, far faster than you are ready for, the light begins to die. Night in the Amazon does not fall. It slams down. Beneath this thick canopy, there is no gentle dusk. There is light, and then there is nothing. And the darkness down here is more complete than any you have ever known in your life. Hold your own hand up in front of your face, and you genuinely will not see it. The forest that felt merely dangerous by daylight now feels like the surface of another planet. Every sound is magnified. A snapping twig, a low cough, something heavy shifting through the leaves. And now, in the dark, the single greatest killer of them all finally reveals itself. It is not an animal, it is a direction. Being lost. Under this endless canopy, you cannot see the sun, the stars, or any horizon to steer yourself by. Every tree looks like the last one, and people walk for days in a slow, hopeless circle. This is the moment when most who die in the Amazon truly die, the moment they lose their way. And it is here, in this exact trap, that we meet the girl who fell from the sky. On Christmas Eve, 1971, a 17-year-old named Julianne Kupka boarded a plane over Peru. High above this same rainforest, lightning struck the aircraft, and it tore apart in midair. She fell 3,000 meters, around 10,000 feet, still strapped into her seat. Of the 91 people aboard that flight, she was the only one who lived. She woke on the jungle floor, alone, with a broken collarbone and a deep gash torn in her arm. Everything you are facing right now, she faced too, injured, in shock, and only 17 years old. And that wound in her arm soon filled with maggots, exactly the way yours is threatening to. She survived them the only way she could, with raw nerve and a single thing she remembered. But the reason the world still knows her name is not the fall, and not the maggots. It is that she became one of the very few people ever to walk out of this jungle alive. And she did it using one simple rule that her father had taught her when she was a child. One rule that turned a hopeless, broken, injured girl into a survivor. It is the same rule that is now your only real chance of seeing another sunrise. So could you survive 24 hours alone in the Amazon? Before the honest answer, here is what these hours would truly have demanded of you. You would need to beat the thirst, to find moving water, and never once drink the still. You would need to keep your skin sealed and closed, because a single ignored cut can kill you here. You would need to endure the heat, the insects, and the 24-hour fire of one small ant. And in the dark, you would need to do the single hardest thing of all, not to panic, because panic is what makes you run, and running blind is what makes you lost. And now, at last, comes the rule itself. When you are lost in this jungle, you do not climb, and you do not wander in hope. You find the smallest trickle of water you can, and you follow it downstream. That trickle joins a stream, that stream joins a river, and rivers are where people always live. It is exactly what Julianne Kupka did. She found a tiny creek and she followed the water down. For 11 days she followed it, hour after hour, until it carried her to a boat and to rescue. She could not outfight the jungle. No human being ever can. She simply understood it, and that understanding, not strength, is the only thing that saves you. So here is the honest answer to whether you could survive. Alone, with no knowledge and no plan, most people would not last a single day. Not because they are weak, but because they would spend it fighting entirely the wrong enemy. They would watch the trees for the jaguar, while a cut on the arm quietly finished them off. They would drink the easy water and panic in the dark and circle until the forest simply kept them. The Amazon is not beaten with strength or speed or courage. It is beaten with knowledge, with knowing which dangers are real and which live only in your head. A jaguar will let you live. A mosquito, a cut, and one wrong turn will not. That is the whole secret the green world hides behind its monsters. The deadliest thing in the entire Amazon was never even hunting you at all. So take one more slow, easy breath of the safe and open air around you now. It asks nothing of you, and you never once had to earn it. But if that green ceiling ever closes over your head, you will know what she knew. Find the water and follow it home.